Hey folks, welcome to English 102. I just want to give you a very quick tour around. So this is the homepage. When you log into our class, of course, this is where you land, okay? If you're totally clueless about what to do, click content and you'll get in and you'll start to see weekly things laid out. I presume most of you are beyond that point, so we'll move on from there. Okay. From the homepage, do note the one thing I really want to point out here, the Ask a Librarian link. If you're doing research for a research paper, you want some help with that research during sort of normal work hours, the librarian, including into the evenings frequently, there are frequently librarians there, and you can actually live chat with them. So if you are, like me, averse to actually having to speak to other human beings, you can get in there and chat with a librarian and get some help on your research projects. Okay. By and large, everything we're going to do is going to be through content. There are a couple things down here. Woo. Went too far. Updates I find kind of useless, to be perfectly honest. If you go like this, it'll close it and it won't show them to you anymore. It notes when I do things like upload a new video or something, but you're going to see that when you come through the module, so that's not particularly useful as far as I'm concerned. The calendar is here. It's got the vast majority of your assignments on it, but for an assignment something like email Professor Nicholas this is populated from Dropboxes, discussion boards, those sorts of things that I can actually stick in D2L and put a due date on. So, if it's an assignment that is not in D2L with a due date, it won't show up here. So, it's a good way to sort of keep you on task, but do note that there are a handful of things missing that I simply can't do a whole lot about, okay? Other than that, you've got a helpful plagiarism and citation guide down here. Feel free to use those. I've got some very similar things in the course, but those might be more useful, okay? Most of what we're going to do is in content, so let's head there. Okay, so if you go here, the table of contents, and it will actually generally come back to wherever you left it. So if you were in week 5 last time, it's going to come back to week 5 this time. Okay, you're going to see 3 main sections here. In some of my videos, you see more because I've kind of got a handful of other things tucked in there. Don't worry about that. Okay. Course information, information on me, including a welcome video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I hate the way I look on video, so my apologies for having to watch it. Okay, the syllabus, we'll go through that in a moment. The course calendar, this is done through week 3 right now, merely because there are a couple things I want to tweak before we move on. There's a couple due dates I want to finalize in weeks 4 and 5 before I put the rest of it up. Okay, no big deal there, though. Okay, you can keep track. This will exactly copy what's in the weekly module. So if you want the big overview, go here, but every weekly module's got the same information in it. Textbook info, you'll need to, may want to print some things off, but ultimately we don't have a text for the course, so no worries there. Technical requirements and competencies, I strongly recommend you go here and check it out, just to make sure you're ready for the class. And then, of course, this video, how to navigate the class and plagiarism and academic honesty. Take a look at this, take a look at all the plagiarism information. Okay. Let's go take a very quick look at the syllabus. Okay, so all the typical information you'll see, my contact info. I am on campus a fair bit. I teach as much on campus as I do online, so feel free to drop by my office. I am around for a lot of hours beyond these as well, so just stick your head by my office. I'm frequently going to be in there. Course goals, objectives, what it's like to take an online class, late work. All assignments are going to be due by 11 a.m. on the date they are due. Almost always that's going to be a Monday, but it'll vary just a couple times. Okay, but generally Monday, 11 a.m. After that, your grade on that assignment will be lowered 1 full letter grade, and assignments turned in 24 hours late beyond the original due date will not be accepted. Okay, the last date with withdrawal is 4/13/2018. If you're thinking about dropping the class, if you're not sure if you could pass, if you're overwhelmed, etc., 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 come talk to me before you drop. That's all I can say. Come talk to me. Shoot me an email. Say you'd like to have a conversation. I am glad to help you out there. Okay? Academic honesty. The one thing to note, we'll use Turnitin in this class. I will make that accessible to you guys to use as well, so you can see your own Turnitin reports. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the semester. Other than that, this is a pretty typical plagiarism statement. Take a good look at it. Make sure you know what it says. Disabilities, religious observances, and veteran statements. If you are in need of accommodations for any one of those three, don't hesitate to let me know. Grades. Your final grades will be posted on WebAdvisor because our class will actually be closed down before I post grades. Okay, make sure you know how to log into WebAdvisor with single sign-on. It's pretty easy. Should be all right at this point. Grading, very simple. Homework, assignments, quizzes, anything that is not an essay I'll average out to be worth 20% of your grade. Essay 1, 2, 3, and 4 will make up the remaining 80% by this breakdown, okay? This is important. Essay 1, we don't do peer review for. It's a relatively short timeline before you write that essay, but it's only worth 10%. You're going to write it, you're going to get it back, you're going to get a grade on it, and you'll say, okay, here's what I need to work on. And I'll try to give you very clear feedback on that first essay in particular so you've got an idea of what to work on. 15, 15, essay 4 obviously is the big one, and it's worth the largest chunk. The grading scale there is pretty clear. For the course schedule, click that link. Okay? As I noted, the course calendar will actually bring you, the course schedule link on the syllabus page will bring you here. Okay, and again, all of this is duplicated week by week. So it's sort of a question of whether you want to see a bigger overview or you want to see a week by week thing. Okay? We're going to go into weekly content. This is where you'll come every week. It is broken into units. There are 5 units. The first one is introduction. Each of the remaining units encompasses one of your 4 essays. Okay? Hence a total of 5. So essay 1. Important things to note about this, really and truly, it will kind of track how you've done. So it shows me here that I have watched the Welcome to the Class video. I watch my own videos. That is how dedicated I am to craft. And then it shows that I have not yet watched the How to Navigate the Course video. So check is you've done it. A dot means you haven't. And it will track your progress through every bit and piece of this. Okay. All this really does do is ensure that you've clicked the link. It doesn't mean you watched it to the end. Although I've got some back-end information that tells me how long you spent on any given page. Okay. Each week will be here, a brief description, a to-do list, and then I will give you links to do all of those things. If at any point you don't get what's on the to-do list, or you see something on the to-do list, you don't know where to go, you don't see a link down here, that's the time to contact me. There are, at the end of the day, lots and lots of bits and pieces about in this class, and invariably every semester I screw one little tiny thing up or 2 little tiny things up. If you notice that something is out of whack, send me an email. I'll get it squared away right away and make sure that no one else has the same problem. Okay? You guys are only seeing 3 units right now. I'm updating a little bit of content in units 4 and 5. No worries about that. That actually will come to you in about March. So I'm just tweaking a couple things in there before I add it back in. Okay? And at the end, student resources, all sorts of fun stuff. The D2L Resource Center and the Netiquette videos. If you're concerned about whether or not you're ready to take an online class, this is really useful. It sort of asks you a series of questions about online classes and sort of who you are as a student. If you're concerned, that's a good place to go. Offices of Disability Services, Veterans, the library, the link to the library, link to the Writing Center. If you're antsy about your writing skills, I strongly encourage you to work with the Writing Center. If you're anywhere near campus and you can swing in at some point, try to get some appointments. Been hearing nothing but good things about the students who've been in there. They've been really happy with the work they've done there. Advising and counseling. Hey, I'm finishing up my 102 class and I need to figure out what I'm going to do next. They're the ones to talk to. Financial aid, ITR, student success. I kind of tried to make this a one-stop shop, so the student resource section should give you kind of anything you need as a student. Okay? Finally, you're going to see some links across the top here. Content, course home, we've talked about already. Communication has the discussions. Okay, we have a few discussions in class, but I link to them directly from the weekly modules, so unless you come into the class and you're like, oh, I need to go straight to the discussions for some reason, the links here are not going to be that useful. Class list, if you need to email a classmate or, God forbid, you forget my email's in there. Chat and virtual classroom. If you want to do a video conference with me, you cannot make office hours face-to-face, or alternatively, you're out of the area and you want to do this, I might use virtual classroom to do that, but I'll get you some more directions if we need to go that route, okay? Assessment has got assignments, quizzes, grades. The one thing you want to pay attention to here is the grades link, okay? Again, for assignments and quizzes, I will always link you out from the weekly page, okay? But grades, anytime you want to check your grades, you can go in there and it will show you everything that's there. Right now, there's not a whole lot, but it will grow as the semester goes on, okay? If you've got any questions about your grades, ask early, ask often, and make sure you understand what they all mean before we move on, okay? I'm always willing to work with you, and I try to give you as much clarity in that as possible. Attendance, you probably don't have, and locker is just some storage space. You can stick some files if you want to, but at the end of the day, I don't know that it's going to be that useful for you. But if you want to just save all your papers out there, then they're stuck in the cloud, and if your computer explodes spontaneously, you don't have to worry about it. One last thing. Up here, you're going to see just a handful of different things. This message alert link shouldn't ever light up because of the way Prairie State has our messages configured. If you're looking for messages within D2L, check your Prairie State email. Everything just gets pushed through to your email rather than existing inside of D2L. Okay, this will show up when I've updated something. The one place where it is interesting, it's good to pay attention to this, is if I've posted a grade for something, it'll give you a little alert right here. And finally, subscription alert. If you subscribe to, say, a classmate posts something in the discussion boards you find really interesting, and someone else comments, it'll give you a ding there. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything for sort of just navigating the course. If there's something I've missed and there's something you're not sure about, please ask me. I will be glad to help you out. Okay. I'm going to let this go as is, but if you're concerned at any point, please ask early, because the worst thing that happens is there's something you're missing, there's something you don't quite get, and you ask me 2 weeks later, and an entire essay has passed you by in the meantime, and that is just going to kind of end up putting you in a tough spot. So ask as soon as you've got a question, and I will be glad to get back to you as quickly as possible. Thanks, I'm really glad you're in class, and look forward to it.